Hello and welcome to sunny Bali. That was a bit hilarious that my Wi-Fi connection cut off at the very first Facebook Live, but here we are, take two, the Unlikely Pilgrim goes live. So happy Sunday. I want to talk to you guys today about a cremation ceremony that I went to yesterday, a Balinese Hindu ceremony, which was very interesting. And I want to hear from you guys the funerals that maybe you've been to, or afterlife thoughts, or how do you guys celebrate the loved ones that have passed in your life. G'day Sarah, how you going? So we're here in Serarit, which is outside of Singaraja, about 2 to 3 hours north of Kuta, which is 2 hours on a good day and 3 hours on a bad one. And we were invited, a bunch of us up here, by a friend of ours called Yuli and her husband Yeoman, to participate in the cremation service of her auntie who died a couple of years ago. So when we were on the drive up here, I was reflecting and thinking back to funerals that I had been to, and I haven't been to many, which I guess is a blessing. And I was thinking about three standouts that I've been to that were really completely different. And the first one was from a guy in my childhood who, when we were 15, was killed in our local neighbourhood by a car when he was riding his bike. And the funeral was filled with teenagers, all not knowing how to deal with their grief, and hundreds of kids from different schools. And then another one was my Auntie Penny's funeral, who I hadn't really seen in a number of years, and it was a small and beautiful intimate family affair, which was something that I attended out of respect really for my uncle and my dad and my cousins. And another one that sprung to mind was Joyce Barnes, who was like a second mum to me and lived 4 doors down for most of my life. And the three of us who kicked around my whole life, Amanda, Dean and I, the three musketeers, that was Amanda's mum, who unfortunately lost her fight with cancer. And I was in the UK when she died, and I remember having to come back for that and thinking what a devastating blow it was, because she had such a positive impact on my life, and made me realise a lot of things when I was a terrible teenager. And so coming up to a cremation for a person I don't even know, and a different culture, I wasn't really sure what to expect. A lot of Balinese Hindu ceremonies that I've been to are very colourful, and there was big fanfare, and that's certainly what we got. It was fantastic. And the Balinese Hindus, they celebrate the passing of a loved one with a 6-day affair. That's right, 6 days. And we were privileged to attend day 2, which Yuli tells us is the main day, or the best day to go to, she said. So the ceremony, obviously being 6 days, is very expensive. So what happens is, in Bali, if you're a Balinese Hindu and you die, you will be buried shortly after your death in a cemetery, and then maybe once or twice a year they have public cremations for a collection of people to share the cost, and also to celebrate together. Hi Tina, hi Sam. So what we were at yesterday was the celebration of 60 people who had passed in the last year or two, from little babies to a 90-year-old woman who died peacefully in her sleep. So there was hundreds and hundreds of people who attended. We arrived bright and early, just before 8 o'clock, and the prayers were in full swing, and we were waiting for the procession to start, which was just phenomenal. Let me tell you, the colours of the temple gear that the Balinese Hindus wear is just amazing. So there was hundreds of people lined up in the streets with offerings and pictures of their loved ones. There was bands and dancing. So we walked through in the heat, it was hot, in the heat, through the village, up by the rice fields, and back to the temple. Now when we arrived at the temple, there was more people there, and the pyres were all set up, ready to go. So in the caste system in Bali, the two lower levels of the caste system, which are really just the regular folk, not the royals and not the priests, are symbolised with fish. So what had happened the day before is the families had ceremonies at the cemetery and dug up the earth of where their loved ones lay as a symbol. The earth as a symbol to represent the bodies of the people who had died. Some villages in Bali do exhume the bodies of the people who have died to put those on the pyres. Luckily for us, not in this one. So what we did was they have all of the earth in these temple structures and fish structures, and they light them up. They light them up and they cover them in kerosene and oil and all sorts of other things, and yeah, there was fires everywhere. Oh, got you back, sorry, I've got a weak connection, I'm just on the beach here. Okay, so yeah, the fires were burning, there was dancing, and then after that, while we were waiting for the embers to cool and the ash to be collected, we headed to the local Pemanku, the village priest's house. Had a lovely meal, chatted to Parmade, who speaks beautiful English, and taught us all about what's been happening throughout the day and the symbol of the earth and how they do things in Mayong, which was brilliant. So after that we headed to the beach, as you do, and hundreds and hundreds of people on bikes, in the back of trucks, in vans, headed the 10 minutes down the road to a beach whose name I'm not even going to begin to pronounce, but it's just down the road here. And again, there was the traditional music, the village priests, which they call Pemankus, were out in their whites, blessing everybody, praying, dancing, and one by one people released offerings and the ashes of their loved ones into the ocean to sort of let go and let them be at peace, as it were, which again was just beautiful. And you know, throughout the day we just were welcomed with open arms by everybody, and they had ice cream stalls and, you know, toys for the kids, and really, you know, make it a family affair, which was great. And when we got home last night, I was sort of lying in bed just thinking about you know, how we all have the same desire to celebrate life, and whether it's, you know, a Christian service in a church or an immediate burial, or a cremation that happens 2 years after you've passed, you know, no matter what you believe in or what you don't believe in, celebration of life, the people that are important to us as they journey to heaven or get reincarnated or do whatever it is that you believe that happens after death. You know, we're all the same in that way. And as I've been traveling and exploring these faiths, I've really starting to see those similarities. And you know, we all are born into this world the same way, and we live our lives the best we can, and then we all die, and that's, you know, that's just the circle of life. So that's something I just wanted to, hi Mel, how you going, share with you today. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and questions and reflections of things that you've been to and funerals that you've attended, or wakes, or whatever you have in your family. And I'll reply as soon as I can. But I'm not going to drag on anymore because my Wi-Fi connection is horrendous here. But I will be bringing you, you know, little snapshots of faith from what I'm learning as I travel around every Sunday at 10 a.m. I'm going to try and stick to that time, but maybe do some replays, or you know, help out the folks in the UK who are upset with me today because it's 2 o'clock in the morning there. But have a beautiful, beautiful day, and thank you for tuning in, and God bless you all. Love you long time. Bye.